welcome to D101 with Dondero and Mr. Catonic.
Hello. As I
We're
get a hair stuck in my mouth.
yeah, I know. I do it too. Like I'll like right before we go live, and then I'll realize that I have a giant booger hanging out of my nose or some weird shit like that. Um, or at that moment, right as I say hello, I cough.
Yep. Hello. And then, yep, you have to cough. Hack.
And then die.
Hello.
Die a
Nice to
very
see
long,
you.
painful
I'm
death.
dying.
Yes. Hello and welcome. That's the only thing I don't like about live streams. Like when you're recording, and we used to do this all the time. We would like take takes and all that. Be like, okay, let's start over again. And it's really hard to do that when you're live streaming because if your people watching you, they know you have
You can't
gone
edit
like
it.
started over again. You can't edit it. Here to
Mm-hmm.
cheer on for Amanda.
Woo. Thank you.
Woo! I'm here to drink.
Awesome.
And we're here to talk. We're here to talk. We're here to soapbox a
Right.
little bit. Get into some real topics. I think tonight is going to be an epic night of talking everything from sexism, ageism, just general gatekeepery, creepinism, just all the problems that still face like cosplay every day. Like this is shit that went on well before.
Nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah, because it's fixed. And I'm like, nope, no, it's not. It's worse. Because back
It's
when we
gotten
were
a lot
fixing
worse,
it,
and people have gotten a hell of a lot more quiet about it.
yeah, and we're not having that bullshit. So, okay, I'll let you pick. What ism are we taking on first? Good morning.
Okay. Hello. I see Leslie. They are the wonderful person that I actually did that fish bones for. They are
Oh,
amazing.
that's awesome.
Awesome. I am
Wow.
so glad you're here. Yes. Okay,
Nice.
so soapboxing rants.
Yeah,
I
there's
have a
so.
couple. Is there? Oh no!
What happened to
If
the
you need
trigger?
me to go live with you at some point, I will totally help you fix the trigger. Let's
I've been
see.
lazy. I like it. That you know
How
what? I
about
feel that.
you pick one?
All right. Well, you know what?
I feel the
Let's
neuro
get.
spicy right here.
I'm feeling it too.
You pick one,
Here we
I'll
go.
rant.
Well, let's start out with the biggest one right there is sexism right here. Just like boom bam, let's talk
Yeah.
sexism. How it's okay for a 600-pound man to dress like Spider-Man, but a woman who is anything but a stick dresses anything other than the weight she is, that people will turn around and be like, "Oh, you don't have any of that, any right to dress like that," because that is something that still to this
Or
day
even
blows my fucking mind.
it is. It absolutely baffles me. And I have that I can rant about, and the fact that it's from experiences that I've had myself in cosplay, they're a lot more accepting of men dressing as female presenting characters. But if a female presenting person dresses as a male character, there's also issues.
Oh
The
yeah,
the whole size thing, judgment thing bothers me. Welcome, creative guy. It's better late than never. So
it's okay. I was
the
late
big
too, and
issue
I'm
I
one of the
have
hosts.
is, like you said, I was almost late. Um, but the big issue I see is, like you said, there's a lot of hypocrisy with it. Um, I have, and this is not just through cosplaying at conventions, having friends that are bigger cosplayers, working with LARPs as well. There is that problem in the community of being far more judging towards female presenting cosplayers and how they look. Like I have a she is a adopted in all but legality daughter. Beautiful, beautiful woman of color. I love and adore her, and she is a curvy young lady. Well, I say young, she's 21.
That's no, okay,
And
I'm telling you right
she
now,
is
I'm 40. That's still a
gorgeous.
baby.
Yeah.
That's my ageism right
Yeah,
there. That's
it
a
is.
baby.
It is. Um, I just don't want people thinking I'm a creep and saying that a friggin' like 14-year-old. So, because I am not about those people. But she is gorgeous. And I went with her to a convention and she was cosplaying a character from My Hero Academia known as Mirako. Um, if even if you haven't seen the anime itself, you can kind of recognize her because she's darker skin, long white hair. She's wearing like an almost 80s style bathing suit and she has big
I know
red
it.
feet.
I don't watch that show, but I know that
It's
character. I've
the
seen that
best.
character.
Yes. And I helped her with building the armor for the waist and all of that. And this was the first cosplay she had ever sewn. And she felt like a god. And it was wonderful. So we're walking around and I hear somebody who was one of those 600-pound Spider-Men. And I am not fat shaming. I want to make
No,
that
here's the
clear.
thing is,
I believe if you
guys,
have a body, you can cosplay.
I have
Um,
no issue with no
but
matter what. I'm the same way because
oh
I brought
yeah,
up the 600-pound Spider-Man. My only issue is that person will then again say, well, she doesn't look like the character because she is either too skinny, too fat, or the wrong color. And I'm like, you got no room to talk. Everyone's allowed to cosplay whatever they want to
told
cosplay.
her, yeah, as we're walking through and she's stopping for a picture, um, there is that dude. Exactly. Cosplay is for all. And someone asks her for a picture and I hear this dude say, "Oh my god, that's not Mirko, that's Pillsbury Doughgirl."
Oh, I'd have got arrested. I would have said something real mean. I'd have made
Um
that dude cry. I'm
I
like, where do you get off? Oh,
I
fuck up.
unfortunately was still in a bit of an anxious moment at that point, so I did not say anything. It was my first time cosplaying in public, and that wasn't a LARP. Um, Now I have almost gotten kicked out of conventions, and I can rant about that with the sexism thing too, and the creepism. Um, but I have seen so much of that. Like, I have friends of mine that are beautiful, curvy women that cosplay, and I look at their TikToks and I see all these negative comments that are coming from fucking Chads. But then you have a man who is heavier set. Cool, that's fine. And they cosplay as Spider-Man, as Mandalorian, or as anything, and it's, oh, dude, you look so great. And
Yeah. You're so
people
brave.
refuse, people either refuse to acknowledge that hypocrisy or they'll talk about it, but they talk about it behind closed doors instead of
Yeah.
speaking up and advocating for these women who look wonderful. And they'll go, man, that person really shouldn't have said anything, but they won't speak up. But if you make fun of Dude Bro over here, oh no, all bets are off.
Because
And
here's the
it
thing,
is,
and this is something that really irks me, is you will look at somebody and saying the phrase, you are so brave to do this, is a fucking insult. Like, even if you're talking to the 600-pound Spider-Man or a heavy-set woman dressing as something that's not like that, they're not brave for doing so, they're just cosplaying. You can't tell someone you're brave for doing something, which means
yeah,
there's something wrong with it. And I think that, because I've had people tell my friends and tell me, oh, you're so brave for doing this. That's not, what do you mean I'm brave? Why is it brave that I'm doing this? It should be, you're awesome. I love that cosplay. That's the only response. Or, how did you make that? Questions are not, like, questions can also be very insulting. And it's how phrasing attack. But yeah, I don't like the phrase, "Oh, you're so brave for doing that." I'm sorry, doing what?
Yeah.
Cosplaying?
It
At a convention?
I mean, I've had like, everybody gets self-conscious. You can say, I wish I had your confidence because I would love to wear that.
That's it
Because
right
there are
there.
people that are insecure. Applaud their confidence, But yeah, like you said, oh, you're so brave for doing this. It's again, I try one of the problems that we have is, and I've seen men get shamed too. Don't get me wrong.
It happens to everybody, especially weight
Is
shame. Weight shame happens to both
yeah.
sides, but it is very systemic
Mhm.
in
But it's
females.
like it really is. And it's unfortunately not enough people speak up about it. Not enough
Hmm.
people show support. Um and it is absolutely frustrating. Um and I mean, if you look at it with women as well, even costumes are a problem. If you go online to some of the bigger websites like Uwowo and Doki Doki, are you going to find something for one of the female costumes that will fit a plus sized woman? No, you won't. But I have seen the same companies make cosplays for men that are larger.
Oh yeah.
So
Well,
it's not just in the community itself, it's in the manufacturers that do the same thing.
oh, 100%. Because, like I said, and this is going to be a dig, but it's a very true dig. And it's a horrible stereotype that they think that most cosplayers of the male are heavier set. A problem I have, and this is something I actually struggle with a lot, is I'm a smaller dude now, especially now that I have my whole incretin pancreatic insufficiency. I'm a skinny dude now. I wear smaller stuff. Guess what they don't make in smaller sizes? Men's cosplay stuff. I had to learn how to make a lot of stuff
Mhm.
because I am not a fat dude. And they don't make like I can wear spandex, yeah, but nobody wants that. Okay, I don't have a dancer's belt. I will make it weird, but they just don't produce stuff for skinnier individuals. Like creative guy said, uh, yes, please use a dancer belt. No, if I'm gonna wear spandex, you're seeing it all. I'm making it weird. And we'll talk about that later because I have some issues about dancer belt, and we need everybody. What's up, Calvino? Um, but they do. They need to make it available for everybody of all shapes and sizes, regardless of gender. Because, like I said, it is easier for heavier set dudes to
Mhm.
cosplay because, ooh, Calvino, it's time for a snack. Make it weird on purpose. Always sovereign. Always.
I like
Thanks,
making things
Calvino.
weird.
I
But
do
yeah,
too.
it is absolutely that is one of the other big that is one of the big sexist topics is yes, the like you said, you can have larger men that can cosplay. They can wear those Zenny suits or Zentai suits or whatever and be totally
Zentai suits.
okay. But in the case of women, oh no, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And we need to and then the same company will talk about or community will talk about, "Oh, no, we love each other. We need to be accepting," but they won't say anything. They won't speak up. And that is a huge problem.
But they
Um,
definitely will add qualifiers
and
to podcasts that like the cosplays that annoy the shit out of me. And I talked about this before when I had Miko and Glitch on, who are both African American. But it
okay.
also applies for weight because I have heard people say, "Oh, you're a fat so and so," or "You're a skinny so and so," or "You're black so and so," and I'm like, "No, I'm so and so." Period. There's no qualifier behind it.
Yeah.
I am not dressing as black, fat, skinny, white, anything. I am dressing as blank. Don't ever, ever, ever add a qualifier
Mhm.
unless that qualifier is told to you. Yes, I would love to do something
Exactly.
ridiculous and add a qualifier. Like if I am dressed as Paper Mario and I'm doing one of the flat two-sided cosplays that you see where they turn and they are 8-bit. Like I recently saw someone do one of Boba Fett from the Star Wars video game. He was 8-bit Boba Fett, and when he turned to the
Oh,
side,
nice.
it was cosplay. And I'm like, okay, 8-bit is an acceptable add-on to a cosplay, or oh, you're doing
Yeah.
cardboard armor. Don't even specify that. Just you're doing so and so. That is awesome. Just leave it at blank. Leave it at cosplay, not skinny cosplay, fat cosplay, black cosplay, white cosplay. Just cosplay.
Yeah.
Unless again, yeah, I've seen unless it's like 8-bit Boba Fett or 8-bit Metroid or there was a bunch of other ones. Unless that qualifier is what they are going for, and you know for a fact they're going for it because that is what they say, don't add that qualifier. Don't do it. Stay away from the qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
the tangent that has gotten me multiple times because like I have witnessed it with my and mainly with my African American friends because like Glitch, who is a avid cosplayer, does Ed from Ed and Eddie. Like I like buttered toast, and I've
Mm-hmm.
heard people say, "Oh, you're a black Ed." No, he's Ed. Or you're black this. And I'm like, no, he's just that.
Yeah.
That is so insulting. Cosplay is just
See,
cosplay.
that's when
Boom.
that is a huge, yes, exactly, artistic style. I hate, I know we were supposed to talk about sexism, but you're bringing up
Hello
like
there.
cosplayers of color and how they get labeled before their cosplay. That is
Mm-hmm.
something I cannot stand. Like you said, unless you
Or
are the
lady.
cosplayer, there's no label in front of it. It doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
if you have Sailor Mercury with a blue afro. It is Sailor Mercury unless they say I am blah Sailor Mercury. And that has been such a huge problem. I've seen that before in person, and I looked at the cosplayer who was dressed up as, again, it seems to be a trend with My Hero cosplayers, and as a My Hero cosplayer, it's there. I've seen it, and I looked at this person who's playing white dude playing Katsuki Bakugo and said, "Yes, so you're playing a white Bakugo. Well, he's white in the game or white in the show." No, no, there is no white person named Katsuki Bakugo. No, so you don't get to label this person as blah color Mercury. No, that is Sailor
Yeah.
Mercury. Again, it is also a thing, and I see it happen to a lot of men of color too, but I see it more aggressively towards women. And
You're right.
it is frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
Um,
it's one of those things because we think we can get away with it because we don't see. And like I said, I honestly think a lot of times it's not something done in malice. I think 90%, and I'm going to give people a big birthing step of I don't think you're being a jackass purposefully. I think that you just don't have tact. That's what I'm going to say. Because personally, when I've seen it, I know
the
the people who
first
said
time,
it, and until you are corrected, you just
yeah,
don't have tact. There you go. But that's
yeah.
why I'm here to talk about it. It needs to be said. It
First
needs to
time
be
you
put
do it,
out.
it's a mistake.
Second time you're doing it, you're an asshole.
Well, hopefully it's a mistake the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
um,
I'm giving people
but
that big, very big benefit of the doubt that you just don't know it's so offensive because, like I said, your brain just kind of clicked on. I think the opposite. I've considered waiting.
exactly.
Paragon.
That is
That's what we're
exactly
here
it,
about.
Leslie. Color should not be mentioned unless the cosplayer themselves mentions it and wants it mentioned because they're doing it for representation. If I have a cosplayer of color that tells me I am doing my Black, Asian, Hispanic, any origin of this character and that is what I am doing, okay, then I'll refer to it. If not,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna call you by the character's name. And anyone who uses the N-word needs to die in a fire.
No,
I
Paragon, you're here
well,
because we
at
love
least
you.
especially white people, but that is totally a wrong
But
reason again.
always be here for the right reason. Um, but yeah, that's what it really is right there. Just don't add the qualifier, period. Because cosplay is genderless, it's colorless, and it's weightless. Okay, doesn't matter. Cosplay is blank. It's cosplay. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
Do not show up in blackface. That's never going to win. I don't care. It's not going to win. Guys, just don't do it. Just don't do it. If you want to dress like the character, dress like the character. Be that character. Don't show up in blackface. Trust me, Neville's tried to convince me to do it multiple times. It's never going to happen. I don't care how funny Neville think it to be.
Nope.
I'm not going to do it. I've learned. But that's it. It's just cosplay should be just pure. It just needs to be that. If you dress up like a character, you're that character. Doesn't matter what gender they are, what race they are. That. Don't tell me I'm gender bent this. No, I am this. I am presenting how I want to be. If I tell you I am gender bent blank, you may refer to me as that. But up until
Yeah,
then, I'm a dude in a
it's
Sailor Moon
the
outfit.
the gender bent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. That is another thing that irritates the hell out of me too. Is and again, I see it with male presenting cosplayers, but I see it more with female presenting. Like back there, that is my coat for a Genshin Impact character. The character is very much male, very much a himbo. I love him dearly. He's what got me into the game. When I am cosplaying him, I am not cosplaying female Ito. I am cosplaying Ito. No. Do I have the silicone chest to make sure that I look fully masculine? No. But I am still cosplaying that character as that character. My overhaul, I gender bend and I make it clear that that is what I am doing. But people
Yeah,
will say, "Oh, I love your female Ito." No, that is not
I'm
who
Ito.
I am. Well, then, and the question I get is, why are you cosplaying in a male outfit if you're not gender bending?
Here's the
Because I
problem,
can.
and I think you'll run into I mean, you probably always run into this a lot more than I would. Because, like I said, if I dress as a cat maid, everyone thinks it's hilarious. I think if you dress as a male thing because you are an attractive female, you're immediately going to get that. Why are you robbing of your attractiveness by being a dude? And that's fucking sick, and I hate that. But that's something you have and probably will face multiple times because it's like I'm not here for your pleasure. I'm here for mine. And creative TV guy, I'm going to talk long and
Mhm.
hard about what you just said right there. That is the soapbox I'm going to be on once we get there. But yes, um, uh, it doesn't have to be a ginger, and I think people really need to get that thing that people don't cosplay for other people. Yes, I love going out and having
Yeah.
people compliment me on my cosplay and tell me how awesome I look in it. I love that. But don't come up to me and tell me that I am doing something or why am I doing something because I'm not doing it for you. I hate to break this to you. If you love it, great. If you don't, again, not for you. I'm not dressing like this because I want to impress you. I'm dressing like this because I wanted to be this character. This is for me. That's what
Yep.
cosplay is. Cosplay is something I wanted to do. It's not for fucking you. I'm not here to tantalize you, or impress you. Yes, I love impressing people, but I also love being attractive. But that's not why I'm doing it. Those are completely bonuses, not goals. At least that's how I feel.
Mhm. Yeah. It's it's again another problem that what did creative guy?
Oh, he brought it. I like it.
A mistake, apologize. Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
absolutely is. There are times that people do have honest slip ups. And I mean, if it is the important part is exactly if they point out that no, I'm not, then you go, I'm sorry. I love your character. Um, but that is a huge issue that unfortunately we don't see enough correction going on. Um, and that's part of
Yeah.
what these soapboxes are is you don't see these corrections. There are these toxic things happening and nobody, oh shit, is my laptop not plugged in? Um,
Yeah,
you
you just
people
get a
talk
battery
about it
notification.
quietly, but they are not loud enough. I did.
Yeah.
I am still here, but I am going to plug in my damn laptop.
All right,
Um,
I will vent while you do that because Craig got it
yes,
right, and we're here to rant about it and be dicks about it right now. This is what this podcast is for, right here, this episode. Because, like I said, if you come up to me and
awkward.
make an honest mistake at a convention, I'm not going to be a dick to you. I'm going to very politely correct you. Oh, thank you, Nev. That was Nev, 100%. Agent of Chaos, as always. If you come up, I will politely correct you, and I will make this a VOD. This absolutely will be a VOD, and it will be up on YouTube. I don't make everything YouTube, but this definitely will be because I think it's very important. Um, but 90% of the time, it's going to be a very friendly correction, and until you step on that boundary again, that's when you're going to see dick. And yeah, I could mean that very physically, very what's the word I'm looking for? Very euphemism. Like you're gonna see me a dick, or I'm going to show you my dick. One of the two is going to happen. Next time you're an asshole about it. First time you're gonna get the benefit of the doubt of you just don't know better.
Mm-hmm.
Second time, I'm an asshole. That's what's happening. And that's what this
Yeah.
podcast is right here. This podcast is for us to be assholes right now and be pissy and angry about it because we're not in that situation. We're not in this moment. This is a very safe space where everyone in the audience, you guys can bitch. You guys can say your very harsh opinions, even if you disagree
Mm-hmm.
with us. If we're soapboxing up here and you have a very counterpoint to that, please, we're not going to be assholes to you for having a counterpoint. We will be strong willed and we will be
No, not at
opinionated.
all.
But yeah, this is an open dialogue between us and everyone watching this. YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have an opinion, leave it in the comments. I will answer. I answer all comments.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. It is the big point of it is, again, like we've said, and I don't know if anybody here has
oh, that is very
experienced
awesome
it,
of her.
is again, oh, well, thank you. One of the second items I made when I first started foam crafting was for the daughter that I told you about, and she is like closer, and she's open about this, so I'm not like revealing anything. She's closer to a
There's
size
no
20.
doxing.
And it was, you have to get people deserve to have those awesome costumes, regardless of their size. Pisses me off to
Yes,
no end. Um, but
male or
yeah, the
female,
whole
doesn't
point
matter
of
what size
this
you are.
is
Cosplay.
again, hmm and people talk about all this stuff quietly, but welcome to the 40s where we give zero fucks anymore. And the only way to bring attention to it, like anything in the real world, is to be fucking loud about it. Um, but
Yes,
yeah,
creative
the
TV guy.
sexism thing, done. Absolutely. Um,
Yeah, don't be hostile because someone made a dumb mistake. I agree, creative guy right there. Because like I said, if someone doesn't know, and because I've had people come at me hostile, I'm 40. Let me be real honest. I'm 40 years old, and I am as accepting as they come. I think I'm very progressive. I do not, I accept all genders and I accept anybody's pronouns. I support people's pronouns. But I have been very dumb in the past and misgendered people, not even thinking about gendering them, just brain on autopilot, boom, said something dumb. Um, and it was
And
one
you're
of those things
right.
where,
Half of them aren't brave enough, and that's a problem.
and like I said, I've accidentally misgendered people. I have done many things, and I have never done it intentionally to be, you know, aggressive or anything like that. Anything other than I'm dumb. I'm a really dumb guy. I'm old. And I'm not saying that because I came from a different generation. It means I'm not paying attention enough to check off all the boxes in my brain. And I will immediately apologize and correct myself. But I've had people be like, no, we're just going to be aggressive. Be like, I need you to accept my apology. I need you to recognize I did not do this intentionally. I have misgendered people who have no, like, qualms with gender. I have said sup dude to my girlfriend many times because I'm not thinking and I just say word. So when that happens to somebody who very much deserves to always correct somebody on their gender, you do need to accept an apology sometimes. You have to be like, okay, I realize you didn't make this to say. Now the second time I do it, tear my ass up. Damn sure tear my ass up. But if I'm just meeting you and
It's
I say something stupid, or anybody says something
I
stupid, give them the benefit of going, I'm going to let you correct yourself and we'll move on from there. That's just my personal opinion. Everyone can do what they say fit.
that is why I use honey and I use friendo because friend is wonderfully neutral. Um it
I love to
is yeah,
say,
friend
yeah,
is
friendo.
honey. I have the South has indoctrinated me. So
I call a lot of people home
they
slice.
say honey out here a lot.
I do not dare call anyone honey,
Um
just because I am. That's not going to end well for me if I call the wrong person honey. But
if I
I am.
do, I make sure to make it in a customer service tone.
Well, that's it right there. Everybody to
um
me is home slice, and I will if I don't know your gender, you're home slice because home slice is non-gender. There's no gender to home slice. Everybody's a slice. You at home, you slice.
so let's see. Sexism topic. What else? I'm trying to think if there was anything else that
I
I
think we covered
had to say
sexism
about
pretty
it, other
well.
than, again, like with every topic we have, is be loud about it. Not, like Sovereign said, not enough cosplayers are brave enough to say something, but they need to be. We all need to be. This goes for society too, but
Mm-hmm.
we're talking specifically about the toxicity elephant in the room for cosplay. You need to be loud about it because that's the only way it gets better. Um, Otherwise, you get the keyboard warriors have now gone from just being keyboard warriors to actually doing it at
I'm keyboarding
conventions
wearing right
because
now.
they know that people aren't going to say anything about it. What was that?
I'm keyboarding warning why you do that. This is my this is my keyboarding warrior face. I got something here. I'm gonna set this on our next topic, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna set you off. Are you ready?
All
I'm gonna
right.
put you on your soapbox. Here we go. You're too old to dress like that.
Uh oh. How do you personally deal with people that have a habit of over sexualizing anything that you do? Oh, that.
Oh, that's
Oh
a
my God.
whole. Okay, you
So
know what? Retract my
that,
statement. Let's go there real quick.
okay. Um, so I have had that problem again with, I've had that with my Ito cosplay. And the biggest one that I have had that with, which is kind of tricky in a way because the character is a succubus, is Evelyn from League of Legends. Um, I cosplay her a great deal. And I, the last time I did, and then I stopped. Like the last time I cosplayed her was NYCC 2 years ago. And it was because this dude came up and was like, "Oh, I love your Eve. I play Eve all the time. Can I take a picture with you?" And did the when we get onto creepers, hand, okay, you can put an arm over me. Put his hand right on my waist, and I'm like, "Okay, no. I'll take your photo. Cool." And I got comments like, "You did a really good job making sure that you had your tits out like she does in the game."
Good God. Let me interject real
Yeah.
quick right here. I have friends who work in the adult entertainment industry. I have friends who are sex workers. I think me and you both have some mutual friends who do stuff like that. And to this date, I have worked in like burlesque show. I've done like sex shows and everything like that. I will tell you right now, when I pose with anyone, I
Sex
do
work
what
is
I
work.
call the 1 inch arm hug, where I put my arm around you and I don't actually touch anybody.
Mhm.
And like even in photos where my hand looks like it's on your back, I am literally just like it looks like I'm. If you look at this profile, it looks like I'm about to catch you. I'm not actually touching. Yeah, it's the Keanu Reeve. It's like I am just a
Mhm.
hover hand. Um, but I can't imagine
Exactly.
telling someone outside of my partner, "Hey, your tits look great." Other than like close personal friends who
Yeah.
know that I am not being creepy about it. I have told my male friends their tits look great. I tell them all the time. I tell my roommate his tits look great.
Lulu, yes.
Um,
I want to cosplay Lulu sometime. But yeah, I have had that. And I told the guy, I'm like, "Okay, the way," and it is hard in general for people to speak
hey
up.
Bates.
Um and women, especially, and I've seen it from observation and from my own experiences, have a harder time realizing that you can say no, you can say that's not okay. um
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at the guy and I was like, "Okay, that is not cool. I'm glad you said you liked the cosplay, but you just crossed a line that is not okay."
Yeah.
um
If someone does a character
he
really justice, I tell
apologized,
them exactly that.
and the issue
You
with
did a
him is
character
I
justice.
thought he left and he didn't.
Oh, this is about to be a good story.
Am
Go
I
ahead.
disconnecting?
No, you sound great.
Oh yeah, no. He didn't leave. Like, I walked around the vendor's hall and I swear to God, every time I turned, the dude was there. Um, I'm
You're
breaking up a
kind of
little
breaking
bit.
up a little. I understand.
Ugh.
It sounds great on my side, so
I
maybe
live
for
in
the
the middle of
chat, I don't know.
nowhere. It might be. Um, or I might be sitting too far away from the laptop because headphones are picky. Yeah, it was really creepy. Um and I realized after looking and seeing, okay, okay,
You
yeah,
were
I
getting
might have been
pixelated,
too
but
far
you
away,
weren't.
but
But your audio
again,
sounded fine to me. Well, here's the thing.
it
I have been to many conventions. I will say this. I have played fake boyfriend, husband to many of my female friends because of creepers. We can do a whole episode on just fucking creepers. I am very blessed. I have only had 2 creepers in my entire con life, which is actually for a guy is well above average. But for
I came
sadly
really
for
close to getting
females,
kicked out of Animate Raleigh because of a creeper.
yeah, unfortunately for females, creepers are like a dime a dozen, and it is something, it's something that is just horrendous.
Females are even
Yeah, you're just easily
not
targeted.
just females, but even AFABs. Like,
Yeah,
the AFABs in general have that problem. Like, my son is transgender. He is a wonderful boy that I love dearly, and he enjoys playing female cosplaying female characters and dresses as that female. So again, an example of why being why we need to be loud and why everybody needs to use their voice and advocate is we went to animate Raleigh together, and he was wearing a cosplay of a variant cosplay of one of his favorite characters from Genshin, which was a bit more, it was a bit more revealing than the character's actual cosplay. And we were walking down the hall and people were stopping to ask him for pictures, and this one person came up and was like, he was like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And he goes and he stands next to my son, and he immediately again puts his arm behind him and puts his, like, cups his hand around my son's waist. My son grabbed his hand, moved it, he put his hand back, and my son looked at him and said, "I'll take a picture, but you don't need to touch me." And yes, good, Walter, I'm so glad. And the guy looks at him and says, "Well, you're just so pretty." I immediately walk up and I've got this character's fuck off Claymore with me. And I look at him and I said, "First, do not assume that my son is a woman. Second, regardless of what the gender is, you don't put your hands on people. Touch my I This is how I almost got kicked out. I said, if you touch my son again, I will bash your head in. Do not touch another fucking cosplayer." Um, at that point, he apologized, he left. I kept my eye out and he did not touch another person again. That is why people need to be loud about these things and not afraid of it. But yeah, AFABs get that a lot, and it is super frustrating. Um, yeah.
I get that. All right, so
Thankfully,
Walter,
the person I spoke to was security, knew what I was doing and knew that it was a
yeah.
creeper and was like, "Okay, just be a little less loud about it next time."
All right, so I have actually Walter Holt asked a very important question, and I actually have two stories I want to tell, and this is fun. All right, so we're back from a commercial, guys. I'm sorry about the ads. There's not a lot I can do about them, but if you want an ad-free experience, the best way to say is subscribe to the channel. It's like you can do it free with Prime, but we're ad-free for subscribers. Unfortunately, I can't. The only way I can control the ad content is for my subscribers. Um, so sorry about that, guys. Real sorry. All right, I got two stories to answer Walter Holt's question. One about me in male clothing and one in female clothing. So many years ago, I was doing conventions a lot as a filmmaker, and I am very personable. I'm very talkative, and some would say flirty, but I'm not flirty to any gender. I'm flirty to everyone. I'm just like, "Hey, how you doing? It's good to be here." I was at a convention, and I had this woman talking to me. And long story short, I make it very clear that at the time I was happily married, not interested in anybody. I am walking down a hallway with a group of people, very intoxicated, very fun, but I'm still talking to everyone. And I said, "Hey, I got to go to the restroom." And somebody, I don't even remember, like at the time, I didn't remember who said it. And they're like, "Oh, my hotel room's right here." Cool, I'm going to go use your restroom. I go inside, use the restroom. I come back out. This woman who has been talking to me all weekend long, even though I have told her I am married, is sitting topless on the bed. And it's just us in a hotel room. Because I'm a man, there's nothing wrong in this scenario. But I am a very faithful individual, and I panicked. I was just like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, I forgot to wash my hands." I go back into the bathroom, close and lock the door, and text my buddy, "Hey, and tell him the whole situation." It happens to men. We don't talk about it as often because, like I said, every guy hopes for that scenario. But I'm gonna be real, guys. I don't. I don't hope for that scenario. When I'm with somebody, I'm loyal. I don't want to be put in that position. Also, I am notoriously pan. I like everybody. Doesn't matter gender, doesn't matter that. I am very vocal about that. I also love to dress in drag. I do every year at a convention. I will do a cat maid outfit. I look great. Keep the beard. It's fantastic.
I love the cat maid cosplays so
Oh
much.
yeah, I love dressing
They
as a cat
make me
maid.
so
In fact,
happy.
we have our group at the time. We did a panel, and we're all cat maids. All of us. Yeah, Calvino's got pictures of all of us
I
on
saw
stage.
a cat maid Asterion at PAX East, and that cosplayer was amazing. Think a
Um,
French maid outfit with cat ears
with
and a
cat
cat
ears.
tail. It is adorable.
I need to find a photo of it. I will
Yes.
post it next week. Someone remind me next week on Monday. I will post a photo of us, all of us in cat made. Anyway, because I am pan, because I am very friendly, and because I am a guy, someone comes up and slaps my ass. Now, mind you, if I know you and
Mm-mm.
we're very close, you have that permission because I have consented per firehand that we can have our hands on each other because we are a crew and that's what we do. But we are very important. Don't slap my ass because I'm a
Yeah.
man and you think you can get away with it. I'm sorry. I am still a person. I am not that starved for attention. And I don't care if you are that starved for attention. No one, you should never put hands on anyone, regardless of gender, without their consent. I don't care if it's something I enjoyed because I'm gonna be honest, I did enjoy it. It was a very attractive man, and I was like, you know what? Up until the point you slapped my ass, I'd have fucked you. But the minute you slapped my ass without my consent, we were done.
I
That's
can't tell you.
literally it.
Yeah. It is a huge problem.
Yeah. So yeah, sexual harassment happens on both sides of the gender. Now, don't get
So
me wrong; it is much more worse for women because, like I said, not many men get sexual harassed, but it does happen. So, men, I hear you. It is something
it
that needs to
does.
be discussed.
And I honestly it is. I honestly wish that more men would speak up about it as well. Um
Silence is not consent. That's damn right, Jack's props.
exactly. Silence is not consent. Um And yeah, I wish men would speak up more about that treatment that they get at cons. I've seen it myself, and it is not
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Yes.
This is
What is the
audience.
story you encountered as
Yes.
Spider-Man?
I know creative guy. Creative guy's a very skinny dude. Like I said, we all get. Everybody can get harassed. There's no gender that's safe from harassment. And like I said, I don't think a lot of men talk about it
Mm-mm.
because, like I said, I'm gonna be honest, guys. 9 times out of 10, we're the bad guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. As a man, I could tell you 9 times out of 10, we're the bad guy. But that 1%, we're the victims, and that's not okay.
Mhm.
While I was doing Rocky Horror Picture, yeah, I honestly I want to dress like Doctor. I That's one of the cosplays I want to do. Is I want to dress like Tim Curry. I now have the body for it. I'm scared to do so because, like I said, it's free game to molest a dude, and especially if I'm not trans, because I am outwardly a dude. That seems like to be a free pass. If I were trans, somehow now I classify as a special protected area. But as a dude, I'm just a nerdy guy at a convention, starved for attention. No, not okay. No touching anybody without consent. I don't like it.
It is. So, story while dressed as Spider-Man. Yes. I like
Mm-hmm.
hearing people's stories while we're on this stream because, again, this is something where it's an elephant in the room and people don't like talking about it. So this is a space to talk about all of these issues. Um,
I agree.
the ageism thing, once we switch gears, is
I do.
definitely
We have a
something I
lot
want
to
to
talk
make
about
sure we
that.
go off on because God, I've got so many fucking opinions about that.
I'll starve for a Hooters trip again before I starve for attention to con. Thank you,
Oh,
Caragon.
yes.
Yeah. While he's typing that up,
What
let's go
happened at
ahead and
MoMA
dive
with
in.
that?
I
Yes.
do want to. I do want to get into ageism. So let's go ahead and start that while he's typing that up because we can play the neurospicy game of changing gears as we go because that's how we roll.
Yeah. Welcome to being on a stream with two very neurospicy people.
I mean, anyone who's used to this stream is used to the neurospicy. It literally is in the tagline of the thing, neurodivergent content. Um, but yeah, how many times have you been told you were too old to play that? Which, when you told me that, I was like flabbergasted because you look about 40 years younger than me, and I know you're 40. Um,
Yeah.
which just means I aged
Lots of
very
makeup.
poorly.
I know makeup and contouring. No, 83 baby, and very proud of it. Um, but it was actually the first
Type in
time
segments.
again that I went to a convention. And I was cosplaying a character from, and my hero seems to come up, but they do have a super toxic fandom, unfortunately. Um, he
Fuck, dude.
does Twitch edit things out?
I think if you type too long, it will tell you no. No, I was
Huh.
not bothered by the fact that when I kissed my cheek, I'm a straight man, and I had no issue with that. What I had an issue with was. Yeah, you do kiss somebody
Yeah,
on the cheek without
it
consent.
is.
I don't care. Doesn't matter who. Yeah, there is a character limit. That's I think that's part of the problem. Yeah, the gear shifts are Fast
And
and
yes,
Furious levels
gear
of this
shifts are
podcast.
on Fast and Furious levels, but you know what? That's what makes it fun, at least for me.
Yeah. Well, here's
Um,
the thing: is that's why you are a perfect fit for this channel because that's what we do here, is chaos incarnate. But yeah, no, Creator God, that is insane. And yeah, it's happened to me as well. But I want you to know that I am usually free, okay? Like, I love hugs and all that, but you always ask.
hey, that's not nice. We are not horrible.
Yeah.
Um,
So, fun for the first 2 to 3 movies, then
but
horrible ever since. Maybe.
no.
But we're getting better. We rebooted.
Yes,
We
they
got a
are.
new cast
Okay.
member.
I was about to be sad. Oh,
Actually,
there we go.
Katonic, I have got to say, since you've come on the show,
Yes, yes, I am. Walter is not wrong.
I will say my audience
Was
has
that?
reached out to me on many times, and they love you. They're like, we need more of that.
Aw,
So I do want to
awesome, and
thank
I
you
love
for.
being here for that.
Yeah, I do want to thank you. I think you've given the show a shit ton of new life that it much needed. Later that night, a woman who had too much to drink started backing that thing up toward me while I was dressed as Spidey. So fast. I'm married too, not okay. Her husband. Really?
Good
Again,
on
stop her.
her husband,
Good on
but
her. But also
still.
gross. I will say this because for a while I did work in a male strip club. I wasn't a dancer, but I was a manager. And women, like I said, there's a lot of creepism in the male culture. It is also a lot in the women culture. They don't take no for an answer very well. I think taking no for an answer doesn't work
Yeah,
across
that is.
genders. Everybody needs to take it. It just doesn't get reported as much because
Everybody
men are
needs to
not.
learn.
Yeah. Just consent across the
Yeah,
board. Doesn't matter for everyone, even women on women. Well, we have
no
a
is
friend.
no
We have
for
a
all.
mutual friend.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
we have a woman friend, a mutual woman friend who recently came out as queer, and she has stated many times, "It's like
Charlie.
just because I'm into it doesn't mean it's consent." And that's exactly true. I'm into a lot of
Exactly.
things. Because I'm into it doesn't mean I'm into it with you. I have
Yep.
I have had, I hosted a fetish podcast. I have very openly told my fetishes to the internet on multiple occasions because of the content I have produced in the podcast. That is not a consent for you to come bring my fetish to me and say, do it with me. No. Consent, just because they work in the industry, just because anybody works in the industry or dresses a certain way is not consent. It doesn't matter if you're
No,
male,
no, it's not.
female, or non binary.
Um, yeah, it it is a very big problem. It's why I've started to cosplay characters with big fucking swords so that way I can stand up and
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Hey, that was not cool." Yes, I am short, but when you see a short person with a giant sword bigger than they are, you're gonna think twice about what you're doing. Um,
By the way, I still can't picture you as short.
but hey,
In my head, you're 6 foot tall. Is that? I think that
no,
might be an
I
issue,
am
like where
I
I have a
am
persona.
tiny.
I still think you're probably 6 foot tall.
Yeah, I've had people that I've met, like, talked to online, hung out with online, and then I meet them in
Thank you,
person, and I've
Walter.
actually had people look at me and go, "I thought you'd be taller." Yeah.
That's it. 100%. You have the persona. And I don't get me wrong, I am not being heightist at all because, like I said, I know many people with that persona who are also like 4 foot even. In fact, some of the most badass people I know are 4 foot even. Um, but you definitely have the presence of someone who is 6 foot or taller, and that's probably very offensive. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I
I
I I play
apologize.
a tall person on TV, but, like, no,
I
the
like
sword
that.
for that character and the prop I made Leslie were almost as tall as I am.
I get
Um,
told I'm a lot taller than people
but
think I
yes,
am.
the ageism. I'm 5'4".
Asia, let's
Ageism,
let's get
yes,
back into
ageism,
ageism.
because I want to
You are
rant about
too.
that, especially because as someone, I did cosplay with LARP, but as someone that only started cosplaying when I was 37, going on 38,
Mm-hmm.
it's I had at that convention, and I was dressed as a character from My Hero. This character, while the show itself is a flashback to their younger days, um, I've heard lines like that. So
You
I'm
shut up.
cosplaying
I
this
love Wheel
character
of Fortune
that's
and I love
from
knitting.
the high school, and I had somebody. It was during COVID, so we still had to have masks on.
Leslie did it. I didn't do it.
Damn it!
Welcome to Neuro's version where people can just do shit like that.
Yep, that's awesome. But yeah,
Oh, by the
the
way,
the
Paragon, your surprise is
character in
coming.
the show. Ooh, surprise! Character in the show, 16. And I'm cosplaying this character. I feel awesome. I love the character because he's just hilarious. He cracks me up. And he is the good kind of himbo because he's like, I'm a man, I'm a man. But if
Thank you, Walter.
somebody does something chivalrous, he's like, oh my God, that was so manly. It's great. Um, he is total positive masculinity, there for his friends, all that. I'm cosplaying this character. It was during COVID, so we still had to have masks on. And someone asks for my picture, and I take the mask off and I'm standing back so that way they can get a photo, and they go, wow, without your mask on, you look a lot older than I thought. How old are you? And I'm like, I'm not afraid of my age. I'm 37. Really? You are? Well, are you sure you should be cosplaying that character? Shouldn't you cosplay like Recovery Girl? In that anime, Recovery Girl is an extremely old woman. I love the character, and she is the nurse at the school, but she looks like she's in her 80s. And that almost got me to stop cosplaying because I'm like, what the fuck? I am just
Damn, that's
here
fucked
wearing a
up.
costume of a character that I enjoy. Exactly. But then that was the same con that I met Charlie. And I saw Charlie, found out Charlie is closer to our age. I don't know exactly how old she is.
Though she looks
Um,
20.
but I know she's, yeah, she does.
Charlie
She
was talking
does.
to me, and I think Charlie might be older than me, and I think, but also she looks like she's 20.
She has a portrait in a mirror somewhere hidden in the closet, I think,
That's it,
because
100%.
immortal.
Vampire.
Yeah. Her and Keanu Reeves both.
No, her and Nev. If anybody's
But
familiar with the guy stream with Nev, he looks my age. He looks younger than me.
aw, you're welcome. But yeah, I met Charlie and I met another cosplayer named Lance, who's out of the, yes, she is Akasha, and it is amazing. Um, who's out of the northern part of the state. And I'm like, okay, these people are around my age and they're still cosplaying, so I guess it's gonna be okay. But I still, and I attend more conventions working um and helping run my friend's booth than I do actually in cosplay now. Um but I see it when I see older cosplayers cosplaying these characters from animes in particular more than anything.
Yeah.
And it is a huge problem that people are trying to gatekeep cosplay to a specific age group. And that is not what cosplay is about. Cosplay, costume, costume, play. You are playing a character in a costume. There's nothing about 18 under costume party. It's
Yeah.
not there. And they get very similar to plus size cosplayers. Older cosplayers get attacked and people get fucking vicious about it. And it is stopping, it almost stopped me. And it stops a lot of people that go, man, I really want to do that. That costume is so cool. And that stops it because it's teaching people an unhealthy mindset of I'm over 20, I shouldn't be wearing these costumes. I shouldn't cosplay anymore. What would you say the age gatekeeping is the same?
I would say yeah.
Yes, I would.
No, you know what? Actually,
I
no.
would say yes.
More for females because, like I said, I see old dudes cosplaying all the time. No one gives a shit because and it's because they're cosplaying this. But here's the thing: for the young people to be so woke, which I encourage, I think that we should always progress and be active and all that. To tell someone, "Oh, you're trying to be what we are," is insulting. It's like fuck you. First of all, I can't say I have been, but many people have been cosplaying since they were your age. Secondly, I started cosplaying this year. I'm 40 fucking years old and I started cosplaying this year. I am an adult. I work, I pay
And
my
it's
bills, and I decide
fine.
that I want to do for fun. If that upsets them, that is their problem, not mine. Thank you, creative guy.
Hmm.
And Katonic, don't
The
ever stop
the
cosplaying.
problem it is I'm not going to. I've got a couple that I want to work on, but again, my hyperfixation jumps all over the place, so I'll do something partway and then forget about it. Um, I am working on a Viking sort of reskin of Evelyn from League of Legends, though, thanks to
Ooh.
Leslie inspiring me with their Viking jinx, and I'm super excited about it. I just have to get off my ass, finish the projects I'm working on, and get that done. But the problem that I also see with the ageism is a lot of not a lot of older cosplayers put themselves out there, and I think that's in part because of the fact that the younger generation gatekeeps. And it's all the people that are like maybe 24 and under that do it. And so they don't cosplay or they closet cosplay. And that keeps the visibility of older cosplayers out.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be out there too. We need to show people, look, I'm 40. I'm going to be 41 this year. I'm cosplaying. You should do it too. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of support.
I actually agree 110%
And
because
there
yeah,
needs to be a lot more of that.
there really does because like I said, it's one of those things. First of all, we are supposed to geek just in general con life as it is needs to be accepting to everyone. Doesn't matter how old, doesn't matter how young. If you want to cosplay, fucking cosplay. Don't gatekeep. Period. It's never okay. It's not okay when it was not okay when people try to gatekeep people, like women, like, oh yeah, well name 3 songs or name this or name that, and gatekeep there. It's also not okay to gatekeep people who like have found content and wanted to be participating in it. Luckily I don't get age concept because I dress as a Ghostbuster. We're from the 80s. If you get mad at me because I'm dressing like a character that was around from my childhood, you're fucking daft. But if I were to gatekeep, like if I were to dress somebody
Mhm.
younger, I could see myself getting that thing. Like, gatekeeping is fucking bullshit. It is 110% fucking bullshit, regardless of what it's about. There's no such thing as positive gatekeeping. There is protection. There is guarding the innocent. Like, if someone comes in, they're being a creep, yeah, fuck you. But if someone is like, hey, I want to play
Yeah.
along too, welcome to the club. That's why we do this podcast right here. That's why we tell the audience, you guys are just as much a part of the show as us two. Even though we're the ones on camera, there's a reason the chat is sitting right there, visible on screen, because you guys are a member of this cast. That's why if you watch the credits, which I never let the credits
What
roll
about the
because we're great.
Ghostbusters gatekeeper? Uh,
Well, the keymaster
I
and the
don't
gatekeeper,
know. I don't know
yeah.
about the Ghostbusters gatekeeper, but I do know about the. I was about to say, but I do know about the Keymaster.
Listen, if anybody wants to cosplay the Ghostbuster Gatekeeper, by all means go for it because Dana was Sigourney Weaver. I'm gonna tell you right now has been my crush since childhood because I have a thing for strong, powerful women. Um, just look at anybody I've ever
Gatekeeped
dated.
you because you didn't know part of the lyrics to Too Hot to Handle?
I don't know any of the lyrics are too hot to handle.
I don't either. And I've still got original VCRs of the Ghostbusters from when I was a kid. I've got the 10 box DVD set of the real Ghostbusters. You know? I don't know that fucking
Yeah,
song. Um,
people. Oh, so one of
and
the things I get all the
Jax,
time.
I don't think you know me, but if the gatekeeping and the ageist gatekeeping bullshit is what's keeping you from Raleigh cons, hit me up. I will totally go out there. I'm
No, I'm
in the
around from.
area
Yes.
and I need more over 30 cosplayers out here. Um, what would we
Um,
recommend for changes to the cosplay culture to make it more amenable and more welcoming to the general population?
Speak up. If you see something, say something.
Hmm.
If you see somebody who looks
So,
insecure, go make friends.
yep. Um, exactly. I think one of the big things is definitely, and I felt this going and cosplaying at a few of the cons, is a strength in numbers situation. If there are times that we all want to go by ourselves to a convention, but in the case of that, it is a strength in numbers thing
Yeah.
because they are going to be less likely to say something to a group of people than to one person. And if they do, it's yes, cheese could stand alone, cosplayers need to stand together. It is going in a group for representation, I think, is one of the things that will help. And um, I'm trying to unscramble my brain. Um, because I know, again, over 30 cosplayers, you're really nervous. You don't want to have those gatekeeping kids ruin your day after you busted your
What
ass
happened?
for a costume.
Oh, thank you for the subscription.
So, um, yes, thank you. Um, so it is one of those, if you want to do it, numbers, get a group together. That way, again, visibility. And if you're in a big group and you are obviously 30 plus cosplayers, there could be that mom, that dad, that uncle, that regular attendee that wants to and is afraid that they're too old may see you and go, "Oh, look at them. So it is okay. I can do this."
Love you, Calvino. Goodbye. But yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, you go in numbers, go in groups, make friends. You know, if you see someone, if someone comes up and tells you they like your cosplay, be like, why aren't you cosplaying? Like you should do this too. Be encouraging. I think the number one thing people
Mhm.
don't get enough of is encouragement, and that really goes a long way. Like the one thing I've always done on my streams has been like, there's no such thing as an unlikable person. There's a person who just hasn't met his people yet.
Yeah.
I am not everybody's cup of tea. I am neurodivergent. I am neurospicy as they come. I'm very spicy. But I'm also like loud and brash. But I will take care of my people. The people who are not extroverts, I will collect you and hoard you and bring you to conventions. And if someone says something otherwise, I will fucking kill them. I will defend you. Find your people. I don't join cosplay groups that go by age normally.
That is a very good point. And it does, I don't want to be defined by age either. Um, the reason I suggest it is, again, it's the encouragement.
Yeah.
There are unfortunately some people that at first may feel more comfortable if they're in a group with people closer to their age. I know, like, fuck, Animate Raleigh. I went to the Genshin meetup with my son, and there's all these cosplayers everywhere, and they're like, "Oh my god, you're so awesome, that looks so good." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my son." "Really? That's your son? How old are you?" 40. "Oh, my mom's 40." And it felt kind of awkward because I was
Yeah.
like, "Holy crap, I'm probably the only person here that can legally drink." But because I have cosplayed in groups of people closer to my age before, I didn't want to go run away screaming. I was like, okay, I'm around a bunch of young people. Awesome. I'm okay with this because they're all Genshin nerds. I'm Genshin nerds, and we're all cosplaying. Um, so I think it's more of a to help the going in a group is like to help you or help someone with the confidence to cosplay on their own by being with a group and sort of sticking their toe in the water sort of situation.
And like I said, there's no saying that you have to be loyal to only one group. Okay, so and Creative Guide TV belongs to the same Ghostbusters fan group I do, Southern Bells Ghostbusters. But I am also a member of Central Piedmont Ghostbusters. I tag along to Clover Ghostbusters. I don't solely exist to one group. I exist for all groups because if we're cosplaying, I will I'll come help. I will do this. There are people there are people who share your values in every group. Regardless, you may not have all of one group, but you may have two or three, and you have two or three, and you have two or three, and then 10 or 12. Loyalty lies in don't talk trash about one group to the other. Loyalty doesn't mean that I'm only going to belong to one group. Like in person, that's who I am. I love all of the groups. There's no bad group. Neo-Nazis is not a great group. I'm not going to participate in them. But as long as they're not like, hate mongers, groups are good. All Ghostbuster groups are good. All, Hero Academia groups are good. As long as you can find some relation in there that you enjoy. There's no one particular place that you have to be. You could be in all the places. I will go to a convention and because of my cosplay, I will find my people. And if I don't find my people, I will be a people of one. And 9 times out of 10, just being comfortable in your own skin, which is so hard to tell people because it is so hard to do, will get you where you need to be.
How would you recommend starting doing cosplay and or getting involved with groups?
I'll let you take that one, then I'll take that one. So I think we probably have good answers.
Yep. So before I actually went out into a cosplay, I just did a search on Facebook for cosplay groups in North Carolina. And I looked specifically for the themes of characters that I wanted to play from. Like I do Genshin, I do League, I do My Hero. I'm getting ready to dive into Final Fantasy cosplay eventually with the Sephiroth I've been working on for like 3 years. Because I keep forgetting about it. But looking for just in general cosplay groups in your area, and then looking for cosplay groups in the theme that you want to be in.
We'll go until we're done talking.
Communicating with them. Yeah, a lot of those extra half hour. Aw.
I love that they love us. I'm like, yes, we'll stay until we're done.
Host meetups.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those groups will post meetups, not just at conventions, but like I've seen it in Charlotte. I just wish it wasn't so far away. Where they were for a while doing, hey, Sunday, we're going to do a cosplay meetup at this park from this group just to hang out and shoot the shit. So looking up cosplay groups on Facebook in your area, really good way to start. And then find a costume, just one, and start off that way, which you don't have to go crazy with like the prop building and all of this stuff. There's one thing I can rant about too in a good way is taking cheap manufactured cosplays and making them look badass. But yeah, Facebook searches for cosplay groups is definitely where I'd say to start with.
I agree. And the only caveat I have to add to that is there's 3 things to look for, and it's not just Facebook because honestly I'm old, so I use Facebook, and this is where the ageism comes in real handy because, like I said, I found my groups on Facebook just by getting in there and posting saying, hey, I am this, I am from here. But Discord is a great place too. If you search so and so cosplay, like location cosplay Discord, you will find Discords that exist. Reddit is also a great place to look for, because like look for like places where internet people will hang, and it could be Facebook, Discord, Reddit, Twitter if you're Twitter X if you're brave enough, and even Twitch. Okay, so we're both North Carolina based, and Paul Bradford, who guest stars on here as well, he's in Cincinnati. We all do conventions. Get in there and be like, hey, I'm from so and so. Anybody in the audience from so and so? I want to do this. Just don't be, like I said, you have to be vulnerable enough to tell people, hey, I'm from here. I want to do this. Anybody local? I belong to many Ghostbuster Facebook groups. Not North Carolina Ghostbuster Facebook groups, but just Ghostbuster Facebook in general. For prop building, for my stuff like that. And I went in there and said, hey, straight up, anybody near North Carolina? Comment, 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 comment. Friend, 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 friend. Same with Discord. Anybody from blank. Boom, 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 boom. Giving someone your city doesn't necessarily dox you. It doesn't give them any more information. Unless you live in a town of 12, you're good. And if you live in a town of 12, what is the most metropolitan city that is in driving distance from you? That's the city you tell them. Because I don't actually live in Charlotte, but I tell everyone I live in Charlotte. Of course, in a week I will literally live in Charlotte. But I tell people the metropolitan area is Charlotte. You can find your people.
Instagram is good for that. Granted, I'm still learning Instagram. Cosplay
I saw your post on Instagram. I like
got an Instagram. And the only reason I did it is because I had a lot of my friends and my son yell at me to get an Instagram, and then I had to have my son make it for me because I didn't understand it.
The hard parts of being old is
I tell people I am not in Raleigh, but I am in the Raleigh area, which is huge because it's a triangle of 3 big cities. So relatively safe to go, hey, Raleigh area.
Points to Greensboro. Okay, so you're NC as well. I mean, look, right now we have a whole group of people, mostly in this room right now, in the North Carolina area. We do conventions all around the area, and the best part is find a convention local to your area. Just search your area. And I think, we need to be better about events coming up. Now, I know right now I'm in the middle of a move. So right now I'm down to streaming on Monday and Wednesdays. But as soon as I get moved in and settled, I will be streaming more days during the week. I'm going to try to convince Katonic to come on more often than just Mondays. Maybe try. But we're going to be doing more content. But not just more content, but I'm going to be doing more appearances at conventions and whatnot. Part of the reason we're streaming this kind of content is because we want to go to conventions. And going to conventions, especially in the North Carolina area, we're safety nets. I'm going to tell you right now, if you watch this stream and you know I'm going to a convention, because I will tell you on here, come to that convention and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. Guess what? You have an ally right here. I'm going to make sure you're safe. I'm going to make sure you feel confident because we support. First time I got to talk to you about props and such. It was really my first pack back then. There you go. Dealing with cosplay.
Cosplay 101? Yes!
Oh, yeah.
We're
D101. We do all 101s.
To do a couple of those with crafting, but cosplay 101? Yeah. I'd honestly love to do... I have been on here to show basics of EVA foam, and I'm pretty sure that we'll do something going further into that, but I'd love it if we could do one of those, again, showing how you can take a cheap, pre-manufactured, mass-manufactured costume and make it look like you did it yourself. And it's something that you don't need a sewing machine for. Punished Props is amazing. When I first started foam crafting, I used a lot of their blueprints. They are great people.
Yeah, the one thing we do, especially on Dondero streams, this channel is about support. Period. Now, don't get me wrong. If you come in here with hate speech of any kind, I will ban you and tell you you're an asshole. But if you're coming in here just wanting acceptance, guess what? You don't have to want it. It's done. You're accepted. Also, yeah, we will be doing more. D101 essentially started out as chaos, but has since evolved into actual 101s. We will be doing 3D printing, EVA foam, and guess I have been in talks with the person we've been talking about a lot, Charlie. She's going to come on, and we were definitely going to do more cosplay, stuff like that. Yeah, she's interested. I talked to her, and she's like, I want to be a part of it, and I'm going to send her this. I'll be like, watch it. We talk about you a lot. And like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of the how-tos, a lot of the what-tos. And we're going to be doing a lot more physical appearances in places and things like that. This is growth. And the best way, if you guys really want to help this grow and help build a community, tell your friends. If you have a friend who you think would enjoy this, say, go to this channel at this time. We stream, we have a schedule. Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Right now, Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. And as we go, more content will come out. More shows will come out, but we'll always let you know, and it'll always be consistent. Because one thing, like right now, I'm like Mondays and Wednesdays, and unless another tornado hits my house, we will. I will be back on Wednesdays at 8:30 doing Friends Gaming, where we will talk nerd shit. We talk nerd shit while we game. That's pretty much what we do. Mondays we do cosplay and nerd shit, and talking junk and being friends and making friends. Building community. That's one thing this channel has always been very strong on. Is we're a community. Cosplay, conventions, geekery is a community. That's what we build here. Also, we like fart jokes. And guess why we have the fart thing, so you can trigger it. You can trigger a fart. We are neurodivergent content. That's what Dondero Streams is all about. Neurodivergent content.
Yes.
By the way, did you get your printer working?
Not here to please people. We are here to Muppet flail about topics that people bring up. And I am also, in general, an overly excitable person. So.
Same. By the way, last week we did the 3D print tutorial. My 3D printer is broken.
Yeah. Oh no. I got new filament to see if that's what's wrong with mine. Because there's shit I gotta print on it for a cosplay, and I haven't done that yet.
So we had a storm come through. It knocked out all of my power for like 2 days. And so I had to open my window, and of course the humidity was like at 110%. Put it in, it clogged my head, it clogged the extruder head. And I have to order a new extruder head, which I'm not doing until I move, because fuck that. So I will be not 3D printing for about 2 weeks. I am out of the 3D print game for 2 weeks. Mainly because the new extruder head, not expensive, not hard to replace, just a pain in my ass, and I'm not doing it. Filament got moisture, got inside the printer head, expanded, hardened, and broke the cylinder in there. So I'm like, I'm going to have to just replace the head. Turns out that's not a hard, expensive repair. But yeah, I did that stream and then immediately regretted it because I'm like, well, the tornado destroyed my 3D printer.
If I decide to throw mine into a landfill, I can give it to you first. Because I don't know. If the filament issue I had with mine isn't working, then I may just start paying people to 3D print shit and get rid of it.
I will 3D print for you because not only am I fixing the head of that one, I'm getting a second printer. I will trade you EVA shit for 3D print stuff. We're on a show, we can work that out.
I am all about that. Which, getting into that, we should do something where we show people, again, how to combine 3D printing and foam crafting when we go over the power armor that we were talking about.
We do. I sent you that schematic with EVA foam, and there was some 3D print parts in there. I'm like, I think we could use that as our base model. Until I sell some. I feel that, Jax. I said I'll be back in the 3D printer game soon. I have the parts on order. They're just not getting replaced. I did my last print at work today to finish off my trap. Oh no, it's so tiny. I dropped it. It's a light. It's a lens cap for a light. That's the last thing I'm 3D printing until I move.
Nice.
But we are going to be doing, that's the thing. Stay tuned.
I 3D printed was a glob.
To Cosworth Trap. No.
The storm up here wasn't as bad as it was down there, but I think the reason why I keep pixelating and everything is it kind of fucked with our internet a little bit.
So I found out.
Hopefully it'll get fixed.
Yeah, I found out that I was at work, and where work was hit by a tornado. And I just thought the storm got really bad for a second. Turns out we were just like straight up in a tornado. And so I have literally marked it off on my bucket list of stand outside during a tornado, inside a tornado. Because literally while I was standing outside, it took our very heavy coat closet and just took it off. And destroyed all the trees in the area while I watched outside. As my boss yelled at me to get back inside. And I was like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. And then, like, literally 2 days later, they post the path of the tornado, and I just see me standing outside during it. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, man.
And we were out of power. I was out of power until, like, Friday. But, yeah, we're going to be doing insane stuff on this podcast, and we're going to be doing more insane stuff in the future, including EVA 3D print combos. And competitions. Like, can we make it better in EVA? Can we make it better in 3D printing? And the answer will always, probably inevitably end up being a good combination of the two. Because, like I said, we were actually thinking about some things like how it would be better in EVA foam. EVA foam is greater for larger projects that require less detail. Because you can build them a little more hollow, you can mold and scope it. 3D print is great for the very fine details. Like this would be really hard to make an EVA foam because it's hollow and has a LED light in it. But something as large as that would be easier to make in EVA foam because it's bigger and bolder. Topic. I've been working on a cosplay project and you need a paintbrush.
I've done that, and then unless it's something like a 00 brush that I need, I end up switching to my hands, and then my hands become covered in paint.
Do you see the black on my fingertip right there and right there? I'm brazing. Sometimes I'll use my finger as a paintbrush.
Yep. I scrubbed my hands before coming on the stream because I was painting some stuff.
I did scrub my fingers. I promise I did before the stream, before I went out. But there's some red right there from, I don't know if you could tell what is red. Which, by the way, that is just magic marker. It's printed on transparent filament. And I took a Sharpie to make it red. So it would still be transparent.
Nice.
And I'm about to use some
Grit synthetic
rub and buff
dye
for the silver part.
will work for that too.
Ooh, that's clever. I'm going to say this right now.
I learned that when I was working with some clear Warbler, actually. And if you soak it in, it has to be the synthetic dye. But if you soak it in dye meant for synthetics long enough, it will actually dye transparent filament. It'll dye transparent Warbler. It's really fucking cool.
That is cool. See, you know what? And I think, one of the things I'm going to very much appreciate having you on this podcast is I'm going to learn a shit ton from you. I would be, selfish in saying that, oh, you're great content. And it's not because I also just want to learn all the shit you have in your head. And this is the only way I learn shit nowadays is making content, making
The shit
mistakes.
I
No, I don't
have
have
in
to
my
make
head
content.
is I grab random things and go, I think this will work. I'm going to throw my stuff at it. If it doesn't, yes, Rit Die More. That's the one that I use.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of guess
So during the
and hope it
storm,
works, especially
that's
with
kind
that
of
Warbler, because Warbler's fucking expensive.
that's what I did. Okay, so we lost power, and I was like, oh shit, I don't have personal chargers. I wired my proton pack to charge my phone, and then wired my ghost traps to charge my proton pack so it would charge my phone. So essentially, all I had to do was go to a
That is
bar
amazing.
and drink beer while I charged my proton pack, my unlicensed nuclear accelerator, to charge my phone, which also lit my room. I set it to standard lights and changed the LED colors, so it lit up my room and charged my phone. And I'm like, I love being resourceful, and that's what cosplay is. Cosplay is 110% resourcefulness. And the way you learn resourcefulness is failing. And you will learn this while watching this podcast, and this is why we do it live and not edited YouTube videos. Is because 90% of all learning is making a mistake and learning from said mistake, and that no matter how good you
Mm-hmm.
are at the concept, you make mistakes. Miskatonic is probably one of the best
It's
Eva foam
why I
creators I've
don't
ever
like
seen
a
out
lot
there.
of, yeah, it's why I don't like a lot of those content creators for doing like even sewing costumes, crafting EVA foam. It's again, I'm sorry. You, unless you have a CNC machine, you did not cut the foam that perfectly smooth to where you don't need to sand it down. That's just not possible. That's why I liked doing it on this so people could see, look, I fucked this part up here. There we go. Um, Keeping it real instead of fabricated. Frustration was something in your mind coming up short.
I can answer that question real fast. You
I
ready?
flail. That's how I
Oh,
deal with it. I flail. Oh
all
God,
right.
EVA clay is so good.
How I
I
deal
love it
with
so, so, so much.
this is how I deal with it. Looks perfect, right? I hate it. Version 2. I go make version 2, Mach 2, MK2, everything 2. You just make it again. You keep working. If you fail the first time, you keep it, you love it, it's good. I hate everything about you. I'm going to do you again. There's no such thing as
Creative guy, you are
failure.
absolutely right. The starting a cereal box and some Elmer's glue, one of the best Fishbones props that I have seen in person was at MomoCon last year, and this cosplayer made it out of scraps from cardboard boxes from Amazon packages. And
Oh, that is
I
awesome.
couldn't even tell. It looked great. Oh, it looked so good. It really, really did. And they were like, yeah, I don't know how to do foam stuff, so I just got this Pepakura file and tried to make it out of cardboard. And I couldn't tell it was cardboard. It looked amazing. Um, oh, it was seriously super, super cool.
And
Um,
I think
and
that'll be
that's the
something.
thing.
Oh,
You
God.
could make cool shit out of a cereal box. I kind of want to do that now,
You
just to show.
you will always hate your own creation just a little. You will make something and it will never be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but you will show it on a stream like this. Like I will hold this up, and you will go, "Oh my God, that looks amazing! That's so cool! You made that from scratch," and people will go nuts for it. But you will see every goddamn flaw, and you will want to do it again. But you have to get past every goddamn flaw. You have to just be okay making something that's not perfect, because guess
Alternate ideas?
No one's going to make anything perfect. You're going to make it
Nothing is going to be
awesome.
perfect that you made.
Yeah. What is a prevalent theory dealing with
alternate ideas? Are fantastic. They are super cool.
Oh yeah, I agree, 100%. Creative guys, 100% right.
Ted actually has silicone molds for gears that you can use EVA foam clay in. So you could easily do that for Johnny's arm on the metallic points to attach like gears onto it.
Oh my god, yes. That's brilliant. Yeah, no, that's Charles Dynamics. Ghost Trap. Jack Props. Totally share the link, and I will agree. I will let it go because it's a free trap. This is actually based on. This is a Taco Belly trap. The only thing I don't like about the Charles Dynamic trap is his doesn't do this. Mine comes apart. So when it lights up,
creative guy, I am the exact same way, and I knew it was bad when my son yelled at me and was like, "Mom, shut up. Just stop."
And you audience won't ever see our flaws, even though we are going to showcase them. We're going to point them out to you and go, look at them. Look at these flaws. You won't see it as hard as myself or she sees it. Because it will sing to us. Just like when you're working on something yourself, you will see your flaws so big. No one else will. No one else will ever see your flaws. I promise you. They will look at it and just go, hot damn, that is so awesome. I guarantee the person who made that cardboard, cosplay thing out of like paper cereal boxes sees every wrong little detail wrong with it and hates themselves for it. But you look at it and go, holy shit, that is awesome. Just don't be scared of that. Don't be scared of the flaws. Lean into them. Make them your flaws. You might even see your flaws as a benefit. Yeah, 100%. Be okay with flaws.
There was a mask I made for someone, and the horns. It was modeled after like a kabuki mask, and the horns on the head were not placed. Like it was just off, and I was fixating on it. I'm like, oh my god, this looks terrible. This looks awful. But it ended up being the person was like, I really like this because they are not completely symmetrical, so it looks more natural. I am super excited about that. And I'm like, I thought I done fucked up. But okay.
That's it. But
yep.
Like I said,
I have done that. I have BS on one of my own props for myself.
But as much fun as this is, I actually have to get up very early tomorrow and take my son to a doctor's appointment. So I think we do need to call it in. And I hate that because I'm having a really good time. But I'm like, if I don't get off and shower and get up, I have to get up at like 5:30 a.m.
Sucks.
Adulting sucks. But next week, we're going to be doing something else fun. I don't know what yet. Katana, you have any ideas we want to do next week? Maybe we do part 2. Maybe we just continue this a little bit and talk about... You know what we should do next week? Let's talk failures. Let's break out our things that we have failed on and point out every wrong detail. Let's show people that flaws are okay. It's okay to be broken. It's all right to not be perfect. So I think next week we'll be flawless.
Absolutely.
We will be
point out the flaws. Yeah.
I failed at every set of piece of things.
I like the idea of like even pointing out those flaws and then showing, look, here's how you can conceal it. Nobody else is going to see that.
Well, it doesn't matter what you two talk about. Just keep it up. Oh, solid.
Yeah.
You are amazing.
And you don't have to not talk about flaws either.
Yeah.
Um, I
Celebrate
like
them.
talking about it so that way, yeah, so that way people know, look, see, you do not, these things are not perfect, but they still look cool to other people.
That's it. Most of it
Yeah,
is just talking.
I
I mean,
I
I could
could.
normally too. I really could stream this all night if I didn't have to get up super. Like Mondays are usually my day to sleep. Like Tuesday I can sleep in, but my son has a doctor's appointment and I am taking him, and so I got to drive to I have to drive across town to get him and across town to get to the doctor's office. It's a whole thing that I got to do at 5 a.m. Um, Thing on the
Yeah.
subject isn't on the event list for these streams. That's it. We're not. We're chaos. And I just want to say, guys, audience, community, thank you guys so much for coming and being, interactive with us. Thank you. And Katonic, as always, thank you for being the
Yeah,
co-host. You are
of
amazing. It's so much fun.
course.
All everybody is just it's
Thank
just so much fun,
you.
and I'm excited next week to talk about flaws and get in there and just talk about all that bullshit, because I think that's where we really lie in strength. I got to see one. I'm happy you got to see one too, and this will be posted on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, comment, like, and
Absolutely.
watch it live. Twitch.tv/the Dondero.
Yeah.
In the link down below.
I will
So
sit
no
here
matter
and
where you see this,
excitedly Muppet flail and rant about things for people.
it's what I do.
Totally do the Muppet flailing thing.
But as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Tonic, and we will be here next week. Stay tuned Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. for Gaming with Friends, and stay tuned as soon as I get moved into my new studio location. More streams are coming, more content's coming, longer streams are coming, because like I said, we're going to be doing these long form streams where we're building full shit across the interwaves, and so you can
Yes.
build a home. So they'll be a lot longer, and everything like that. So thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you next week. Or actually,
Yeah.
I will see you Wednesday if you come back. But we will also see you next week, next Monday at 8:30 p.m., where we're going to be flawlessly flawed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the name of the episode. Flawlessly
Oh.
flawed. Good night, everybody.